Howdy, y'all. This is Clay.
And this is Lloyd.
And this is Iron Sharpening Iron with the Kahler Boys.
And it started off.
Today is the 18th.
I opened my eyes real big as soon as it took off.
Because you're surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised that your clicker worked the first time. Just in case y'all don't know, every once in a while that clicker has a mind of its own.
It do.
And it's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I've got one real similar to it. And it's just
sometimes it takes more than one push.
Yeah, or it's not sure it's on.
Right.
Mine does that too. You'll turn it on and all the lights work and it shows, hey, I'm on. And then you try it, like, what the hell? You turn it off, turn it back on, and now it works. But you know, that wonderful stuff.
All right, man.
But anyway,
July 18th, 2024. Let me see. 5 days ago.
5 days ago.
5 days ago, my president
dodged
a bullet. By God's grace. By God's grace.
You ain't kidding. Man, I don't even know where to start with that.
I know. Well, let's not start yet.
Yeah, I know.
We got a special for our folks today. We have 2 scriptures of the day.
That's right.
All right.
We could probably pour into a tremendous Bible study.
Yeah.
And cover what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd have to flip a little further towards the back.
Yeah.
Starting Matthew 24. Isaiah chapter 5. I'm going to say, for those of y'all that don't attend Red River Cowboy Church, or maybe don't watch us online.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. I'm going to put my plug in. I do. I listen and watch online. And Sunday is more of a traditional service.
Ish.
You could call it that.
Ish.
Nothing's traditional at that church.
Like I said, we got a banjo and a steel guitar in the band.
So Sunday is a little more traditional with the way church operates, and then Wednesday is more of a sit down Bible study.
Yeah.
And I get not that your Sunday service is lacking at all, but I get so much more out of that sit down Bible study that, man, if you want to know, if you got questions, go back and look at Red River Cowboy Church in Burke Burnett. Look it up on Facebook. When you click on it, you can go to their archives, their videos. It's all real handy right there. Even me can figure it out. And if I can figure it out, everybody can. And it just drops down and you go through the dates, and he starts at the beginning and works his way to the end and explains. And sometimes it's even to word because every word in it is the word of God.
Every word is inspired.
And when you break these words down and you learn the origin of them, what they meant before, what they were supposed to mean.
Right.
It changes. It changes the way you look at the Bible. It makes it, I don't know, it gives it a different light. And to me, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you're a good teacher. You're a very good teacher of it.
By God's grace.
Well, I know where it comes from.
Yeah,
because I grew up with you.
Yeah,
I grew up with you. This was not the path nobody picked. Nobody. You know, like when you're voting for most likely to succeed.
Yeah.
Most likely to get the most DUIs. Most likely to, whatever.
I would have been voted most likely to break his finger while picking his nose.
Yeah, but not most likely to become a preacher.
Right. No.
But anyway, go check it out. And does a good study on Revelations. God, I am just still.
Started on May 3rd.
May 3rd was Revelation, yeah. And I've directed plenty of people to that, and I even went back and watched it again. And you get a lot more out of it the second time.
I'll tell you what, that was such a good study.
That was.
Such a good study.
Even you did the study, you were the teacher. I think if you went and watched it,
oh yeah,
you would get. And I know that the third time I watch it, I'll get more.
Yeah,
and
that's how the Word of God is.
Just say, just like the Word of God, it kind of unpeels her right in front of you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Like, wow,
by the way, that's referred to as the illumination ministry of the Holy Spirit. He illuminates the Word of God to you as you become able to receive it. That's right. That's the amazing thing. If you're ever studying the Word of God, and you're looking at a passage of scripture you've seen 100 times before, and you read it, and something jumps off the face and just off the page and just grabs your face.
Yes.
You should stop right there. Thank God and celebrate, because what that means is that in your spiritual maturity, you have matured since the last time you read that. The last time you read that, you weren't ready for that nugget.
Right.
I said that. That's funny nugget. I taught a Bible study in San Diego at a sober living place, and it was every week for I don't know 8 weeks, something like that. And there was this one dude, and I'm telling you, I would be going verse by verse, word by word through Scripture, and every minute and a half, this dude would scream "Nugget" and start writing down. That'll get you. That'll get you jazzed up as a teacher.
It will. It will, man.
So Sunday, all right. So Saturday at 6:11 p.m. A man took a shot at our president and shot him in the head.
Shot him in the head.
People say he got his ear grazed. No, that dude got shot in the head.
Hey, let me tell you something. They compared it. CNN compared it to Joe Biden's head cold. If Joe Biden can get over the head cold, isn't that just? She said that.
Lord.
Isn't that just like about the same thing with Trump with the ear grazing?
Michael Steele said if you get shot in the ear with a high-powered rifle, you should take your ear off.
Yeah, whatever.
It's coming from the same mentality. It says 9mm will blow a lung out of the body.
And when you put a pistol brace on it, it changes the caliber and all the other
stupid,
just moronic
ignorant. It's ignorance. It's ignorance.
And these people all have staff. If my staff let me speak on a subject and sound that stupid, ignorant, moronic, any other adjective you want to throw out there, I'd fire them.
Yeah.
I'd fire them.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of sense. We're not, you're more educated than I am, but we got sense. But if I was going to speak on a subject, and I knew nothing about it,
you would find somebody who did.
I would find somebody who had some sense and say, hey, man, I'm going to speak on whatever this is. I'm going to need your help.
Yeah.
We're going to need to cram. Like, back like it was in high school.
Yeah.
Homework's due tomorrow. We're having a test tomorrow. Or today, and it's first period, and the test is third period.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I got to go to the nurse's office and be sick for 2 periods while I study. But I would not walk out there unprepared.
No.
And then if my staff allowed me to say that you change caliber when you put the pistol brace on,
right,
and you can put a 50 caliber in and shoot a gazillion rounds in 2 seconds, I would fire them.
Yeah. Necessarily.
Yes. You didn't do your job.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be my staff.
You're supposed to keep me from looking like an idiot, which is hard to do in some of these cases.
Oh, well, because you got idiots that hire idiots to help them not be idiots.
Yeah.
You got an idiot soup.
Exactly.
And you expected something different to come out of it.
So Saturday, as I'm sure every one of you that are watching this channel knows, President Trump was shot. By God's grace, he survived. That was Saturday.
That didn't survive.
Yeah, that's right.
Pray for his family.
No doubt.
Protecting his daughter.
Yeah. Ronnie Jackson's nephew was one of the ones that was injured.
What a heroic man.
Yeah.
But that's just what, firefighters do.
So that was Saturday. I get up Sunday morning ready to preach. And how do you preach after something like that?
Oh, I know.
We're in the book of Ephesians on Sunday mornings, but I took a departure. I brought out something different because it needed to be addressed. It needed to be talked about. And so what I came to was Isaiah chapter 5, verses 20 and 21. And this is what I preached on Sunday. Before I get into this, Isaiah, I like Isaiah. Isaiah, I put him right there with, you okay?
Yeah. You just crack me up sometimes.
Why is that?
Well, because I want to know which one of the books of the Bible you don't like. I want to know which one.
I'm talking about the person, not the book.
Okay, which one of them people in there that you don't like? I just want to know. It'd probably be a no list, let alone not a short list. But
yeah,
it's like watching Steve Harvey. Not to compare the Word of God to Family Feud, but watch Steve Harvey, and Brandy laughs at me every day because it's on about time she's getting up.
Yeah,
every day he said, "All right, folks, we got a good one. You can count on it.
Yeah,
you can count on it. You can count on Clay when he gets into a new book or a book. I like this book. It's one of my favorites. But Anyway, go ahead.
Isaiah the person, the prophet. Yes. The way he starts out his ministry is, according to his own testimony, he said he was in the temple on the Lord's day, and all of a sudden he was translated in the spirit into the throne room of God.
Can you imagine?
Oh, gosh. I know of two people that have that same testimony, Isaiah and Paul. And I compare those two.
Yeah.
And Isaiah said, I was high and lifted up, and I saw the Lord of glory in all of his glory, and the train of his garment filled the temple. And then he said this. He said, woe is me. I am undone, for I am a man of unclean lips, from a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the Lord. This dude knew he was in trouble.
What a humbling, just absolute. You're talking about make you small.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man.
The God of creation.
Isaiah recognized the fact that he was a trespasser. Remember what God told Moses when God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, and Moses said, "Let me see your face."
Yeah.
He said, "No man has seen me and lived." And here Isaiah is in the throne room of God. And so he says, woe is me, I'm a man of unclean lips, people of unclean lips, my eyes have seen the Lord. And what's fascinating is there is an angel, and this angel takes a pair of tongs, and he takes a hot coal off of the altar, and he flies over, and he touches it to Isaiah's lips. And he says, now you're clean. There's an old black preacher in San Diego, and I just love this. He was preaching on this, a good friend of mine. And he says, the coal was too hot for the angel's hands, but it was just right for the preacher's mouth. So anyway, that's Isaiah. And listen to what he says here. He says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Does that sound a lot like today?
Man.
Who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Listen to this. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight.
How long of a show do we have?
Not long. I got to go work today.
You'd have to call in.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
We could start naming examples.
Oh.
And
dudes putting on skirts and competing in women's sports.
From
the wholesale slaughter of infants in the womb.
Children acting like cats, and we encourage them. Mutilating the kids.
All of it.
The parades, and they're having the...
How about a wide open southern border?
Yeah.
How about the fact that a 20-year-old kid could buy a ladder from Home Depot, climb up on a roof within 130 yards of a former president, and fire shots?
Simple face, uneducated 20-year-old kid outsmarted the best of the best in law enforcement and security for this nation.
I know.
Do you not have the best of the best in the Secret Service?
Used to.
Used to. Well, you know what? When you order them off Wish, you get what that one girl who couldn't put her stuff back in the thing.
I know.
She was ordered from Wish.
That was pitiful.
That was teamu.com.
Did you see when they were taking...
When she was hiding?
Yes, when she was crouched
hiding
down
behind her protectee.
Yeah.
Top-notch stuff.
I'm telling you, man. All right.
You see all the excuses that director has given? The slope on the roof. Are you kidding me? The roof the guys were on.
The snipers, yeah.
It was
way steeper.
I've roofed for many, 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 many years.
You've been on roofs that had a pitch like that.
8 and 12 is walkable if you know what you're doing. Those were not even close to 8 and 12.
No.
The one the snipers were on were probably about a 4 and 12.
Yeah.
The other
that was a steep pitch.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad. That was easy walking.
To be up there
easy
as a sniper.
Easy peasy. You wouldn't even slide, Clay.
Yeah.
No, not on the 4 and 12. They weren't going nowhere. They weren't even in danger. You could put gear down in the state.
Yeah.
That other guy was on about a 3 and 12. That was a very low pitch.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And
we're jumping ahead.
We're jumping way ahead. Yeah. I'm so angry, dude.
I know it, man. I know
so angry.
And rightly so. Rightly so. Let's do our second scripture of the day.
Okay, yeah.
This one, by the way, is upon request. My brother Lloyd requested this.
I just don't believe in coincidences. I just don't.
I love Adrian Rogers.
Yeah,
I love Adrian Rogers.
A coincidence is when God lets you in on it, or something to that effect. There.
Adrian Rogers said a coincidence is when God chooses to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
Ephesians chapter 6. Now, It was 6:11 p.m.
Yes.
when Donald Trump was shot.
Right.
I'm going to start in 10 because of the context. But verse 11 we're going to hone in on. This is Ephesians chapter 6, starting in verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. I got to stop there. One of the things that thrills me about the Word of God is that it knows me so well. You notice you never see be strong, period.
Right.
It's always be strong in the power of the Lord. God knows me so well. And he knows I'm not strong.
I can do all things
through Christ who strengthens
No, all
me.
by myself. Right?
Oh, yeah.
By myself,
That's exactly.
I can do all things because I'm bad.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Finally, brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Here's verse 11. This is verse 11, 6:11. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
And then the way that man, after getting shot, stands up triumphant. And you know what CNN, they have put out, I've saved a screenshot on that. I've seen the screenshot on that. Put out to their people, don't use that. They're calling it photoganda. Like propaganda. It's photoganda. No, it's not. It's what happened. And and in the email sent to these news reporters' job is to present it. If you're a photographer, you take a picture and you present it. You let me figure it out.
That's right.
I'm the consumer. You let me look at it. You let me figure it out. You may have a newscaster that explains the situation, but I don't want to hear your bias on it.
Right.
I don't want to know who you're going to vote for already.
Yeah. I shouldn't be able to tell who you're voting for by the news that you're presenting.
Never knew where Walter Cronkite stood. Never knew. He just presented the news.
That's right.
But they put it out that don't do this, don't show these photos. And the reason why is because it makes Trump look good.
Yeah.
That was the reason behind it.
Here's the funny thing about it.
That's not as crooked as it all get out in the news media. Come on.
Have you ever heard of the Streisand effect?
No.
The Streisand effect. And it comes from Barbara Streisand. There was some video, something that she had said, and it was unflattering to her. And so she reached out to all these news organizations and asked them to quit playing whatever that video was. And by her doing that, the video became even more popular.
Right.
And people were seeking it out. That's called the Streisand effect. When you try to suppress something, it makes people go seek it out. There is nothing that CNN, MSNBC, or any of these other propaganda networks can do to suppress that picture.
You know how many people on social media, including you, have changed that to their profile pic?
Oh, it's my background picture.
Yeah, or your profile or background, one or the other.
Yeah.
So many.
Oh, yeah.
On a host of different platforms.
Lloyd,
you can't open X or True Social without seeing it.
If this world survives another 5 years, 10 years, that picture is going to be in every history book.
Oh, yeah.
Every history book. That is up until then.
It's a strong leader.
Up until then, it was his mugshot picture.
Yeah.
This is the picture of the century.
Yeah.
of Donald Trump
and
with blood streaked down his face, surrounded by Secret Service with his fist in the air.
And the way CNN and everybody has spent it, they've won. The first headline was out, Secret Service surrounds Donald Trump when he fell.
Yeah, oh yeah. God.
They're trying to compare him to Clumsy Joe.
Right. Who, by the way, is down with COVID right now.
And imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Trump has got the spotlight, because he's a lot better. And, well,
I can't wait. I can't wait to see his speech tonight.
There has never, since Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
There's never been another one better.
No.
And I wish I had a good Trump impression, because I tell you, it's beautiful, baby. I don't know what I'd say, but I'd say something.
Huge.
It's huge. It's huge. Never, ever before has there been one better, except Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
But and so now all of a sudden Biden's going to hide in the shadows. But, I heard something that was very interesting. Maybe this is his exit. Maybe he gets down with COVID.
Yep.
And you can't put nothing past nobody.
I know it.
And maybe he slips into a coma
or something,
and can't, or worse, and can't carry on. I wouldn't put anything past anybody, and poor Joe Biden, and I mean that with all sincerity, poor Joe Biden will just be a pawn like anybody else
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
at this point.
You know,
and then you have, I'll be nice, family show.
yeah.
You have the vice president. We'll just leave it right there. Y'all can say your name however you want. I know how I pronounce it.
Yeah.
The vice president would then become president for a short notion, and she would try to put her bid in for the presidency. Yeah. And who would run with her? Probably her as the vice president, and then Big Mike as the presidential candidate.
We'll see. We'll see, man.
If
I don't know.
Gavin Newsom, but Gavin Newsom would be a wonderful choice. I would love to see him take Biden's spot. That would be. Look at this fantastic job he's done in California.
I'm telling you.
And then, can you imagine Newsom and Trump debating?
I heard a commentator. Well, DeSantis already destroyed Newsom in a debate.
Dude, it is such a wonderful job he's done in California.
Yeah.
Nobody could debate with Newsom. He would
right.
wipe the floor with him.
That's right.
All he's got to do is spout all the good things he's done.
I heard a commentator.
The fact that he's selling $30,000 homes back to the community for $850,000,
right,
is amazing. Look at the money.
He's a businessman.
That's right.
Clay Travis from the Buck and Clay Show. He said this, and I thought it was actually brilliant. I hadn't thought of it. He said anyone in the Democratic Party who has designs on the White House anytime in the future will not accept taking Joe Biden's place right now, because whoever steps into that role at this point is going to be beaten soundly by Donald Trump.
Yes, absolutely.
You are going to be embarrassed on the world stage,
and
so it has to be somebody. It's got to be
sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, unless it's Big Mike.
Yeah, because Big Mike thinks that. I mean, the powers to be thinks that Big Mike can actually win.
I think.
I'm
afraid so.
The way
I'm afraid so.
No, I don't think so, man. Not with the Trump train rolling like it's rolling, and we're too now with a cheat.
There you go.
With a cheat and a rig.
Yeah,
anybody can win anything.
Absolutely.
You can
and that was the point I was headed towards.
The 1976 Burke Burnett Oilers beat whoever wins the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
And the 1976 Oilers are all 65 years old. We could win if you cheated right.
Right.
You know what I mean? You put the cheat on and the cheat's on. I mean.
Well, and here's the thing, man. In 2020, who among us would have thought that Joe Biden would have won?
Well,
he didn't win.
Right. And if you
watch that
vote curve, we didn't know about it because at 3 a.m. it went.
Yeah.
Never happened before, ever.
Ever.
But
most popular president in the history of the world.
I would like to know more about. Maybe somebody can comment on this. I haven't had a chance to do the research on it because I just saw this video right before I got off work. And I was delayed this morning because, well, I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sphincter says.
No, it was somebody interrupted my. I am on a strict.
Yes, you are.
Bathroom schedule.
Yes, you are.
You can count on that.
I know that from Sunday morning.
Yeah. At 7:10, I need to be at my house. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I was at my house at 7:10, but my bride didn't look at the clock. She didn't get up and go potty.
Yeah.
So when I walked in the door, she was in the middle of business.
There you go.
And I was like, whoo, whoo. Close the door. But now you got me off in the bathroom.
Oh, sorry, man. Y'all, I apologize. It's another allergy morning.
Anyway, this is what I want to. I haven't had a chance to research or look into this. I saw this, like I said, right before I got off work. I saw this on social media, and it was the fact that this particular. I don't know if it's just Donald Trump's things, but this is the first one they live streamed.
What?
Is this rally?
No. He always is
CNN.
Live. Oh,
the first one, CNN.
Oh, yeah, because CNN is famous for saying we're
not going to air his rhetoric.
Yeah.
We heard, what's that boy's name? Maddow. Rachel
Never-
Maddow.
yeah, Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. That boy with that little short hair. He always is saying, that's a weird name to name your boy.
I know it.
A boy named Sue. I guess the same.
Well, John Wayne's real name was Marianne Morrison.
Oh, that's true enough. And I'll tell you what, that little boy on CNN looks pretty tough. Too.
And you know what? We grew up knowing a fella by the name of Kimberly.
And Carol.
Yeah.
I knew a boy that was skateboarding full.
Yeah.
I went to school with him. His first name was Carol.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also went to school with a Leslie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leslie Bowles. He still lives here in Burkburnett.
Yep.
Leslie was named after one of her descendants' great-grandparents that was named Leslie.
Hmm. Well, Rachel Maddow, yep, that little fella.
That fella, and he looks tough too, boy. I mean, he's square jawed, and I tell you what,
oh man,
you know, I'm too old to fight anyway, but I don't reckon I could scrap with that one. But anyway, you know, she's or he, she, whatever, is always saying about, you know, we're not going to allow it. You see him playing in the background a lot.
Yeah,
I watched the videos. It said that was the first one that CNN live streamed.
There are so many things about this situation that make no sense whatsoever. You know what I did my first 2 years in the Army, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bodyguard.
And you worked for some high-ranking big brass boys.
I was Fort Knox, the post commanding general. I was his bodyguard for 2 years.
Well,
and I went through training, and I was trained by Army CID and Secret Service. Now that was a long time ago.
Well, then let me ask you some questions.
Yeah, come on with it. One, you do not leave a building unsecured that's within a line of sight of your principal.
Anybody on that building that was only 160 yards away?
Because the roof was pitched.
But the other roof was even more pitched, so we won't get into that. There was also a water tower that gave any mediocre shooter a bird's eye view of the whole thing.
Sure.
And with a fairly decent rifle, he could have been an effective counter-terrorist, sniper, whatever up there.
Yeah.
But there was nobody there.
No.
Why was there no drones or aerial surveillance?
So you beat me to it. I was getting ready to go there.
Why was that not done?
That is one of the least expensive things that they can do.
Why is it that, and I don't know if this is actual true, I think it is. The guy read it right from the report. I was watching him read the report from the Secret Service.
Yeah.
The local cops were sent on break and they were at McDonald's, from what the report says. Investigate, find out your own information. I could be 100% wrong.
By the way,
but that's what that guy was reading about the report.
I do want to clarify one thing that has been in the media and it's got a lot of people up in arms, and it's wrong. Okay. And we need to clarify this. We need to fix this. Initially, we were told that a cop had gotten up on the roof, saw the shooter pointed his rifle, and the cop retreated.
That's what I heard.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate.
And you're going to get a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
here's what happened. There was a cop that saw the shooter, and the shooter did point his gun at the cop, but he was not up on the roof. Two of his buddies was hoisting him up. He had his hands on the roof and pulled himself up.
Right.
Both hands. He saw the shooter. The shooter spun around with the rifle. He let go, fell backwards, and hurt his ankle.
Because you're just a target at that
point.
You can't do anything defensively.
He could not reach his weapon.
You can't do anything offensively or defensively. Nothing.
And so that cop was not a coward.
Why?
I want to clarify that.
No, I don't
want to clarify
that. Coward. No, I don't.
Well, a lot of people are saying that cop was a coward. No, he wasn't.
No, but let me ask you this. That was minutes before the first gunshot.
Right.
Why wasn't a radio called?
Well,
get Trump off the stage. We got a shooter. We got something going on. There's a guy with a gun over here pointing at
Interestingly enough, there was. 26 minutes prior to the shooting was the first sighting of this idiot.
There's new
and they took a picture of him.
There's new evidence now that 3 hours before they identified him as a suspicious person walking the perimeter with a rangefinder.
Yeah.
3 hours before.
Have you seen the video of him walking around in the background?
Mm-hmm.
And so the locals reported him multiple times to Secret Service, and nothing was done on the part of Secret Service.
And how many videos do we have out right now where cops just assume something and reach and grab and detain them?
Yeah.
Put them in handcuffs. We'll explain later. We're going to sort it out first.
Yeah, I agree.
So many things, Clay.
I know.
So many
I know.
things.
I know. I know.
I mean, 160 yards away. That's the outside measurement that I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard 130, 160.
Everywhere from 120 to 160 is what I've heard. And so, let's just call it 200 yards.
You remember that day we were out at the range?
Mm-hmm.
And when I first moved back, and you had the mule out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the mule is this old Russian...
7.62 by 54R.
Russian
bolt action,
full wood stock,
bolt action,
iron sights
with no kind of the. It's just solid. I call it the mule because that's how it kicks.
It'll kick you like a mule. And so Lloyd and I were out at the shooting range. We had all of our toys out there. We were having a good day, and we were playing with the mule.
Now, I was just starting to deal with my sorrow over the boating accident, and then you bring.
Yeah, I know. You want?
I'm good.
You want to clean that?
I'm gonna be brave. We'll leave it right here. I may need it in a minute.
So again, this thing's iron sights. It's probably 70 years old, if not older.
Oh no, it was built in 46.
Okay,
it's dated.
Yeah, 1946.
Russia, 1946.
This thing is an old boat anchor, is what it is.
It is. That's a shooting thing.
Now the thing is, we'd been out there for a few hours.
Yeah.
When we go to the range, it's not for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you're just sighting something in. If we're going out there to plink, we're out there for a while. And so Lloyd and I had been playing with the mule. Now our range, it's an outdoor range. And the furthest target is what, 360 yards away?
358 by the range.
358 yards out. And Lloyd and I had both been playing with this mule, and we had gotten to the point we figured out the hold. Iron sights.
Your windage and elevation just right.
Iron sights at 350 yards. We're hitting a 10-inch round circle.
You dong it. You got to hit the dong.
At 358 yards. And we'd been out there for a while, and then all of a sudden this other vehicle comes out. We were the only ones at the range that day until they showed up. And these young fellas showed up, a couple of Air Force guys, and you remember this?
Oh yeah.
And they set up this AR-10.
Wait a minute. They sit down this airplane grade $750, $800 case.
Yeah.
Just the case. And then they got another one just like
the spotting scope.
The spotting scope. Yeah, they got more in case than I've ever spent on a gun. But anyway.
So they pull out this AR-10. And this thing, for those that don't know, an AR-10 is an AR platform, but it's in 308, not 5.56.
Stainless,
beautiful gun. Man, that thing was fantastic. And it had this massive scope on it. This thing, it was on a bipod. It had the little adjustable on the buttstock.
He had everything.
This guy, it was a sniper rig. 7
bells and all whistles.
Yeah. And so they got this thing. It took them 45 minutes to get everything set up.
We run out of ammo over there.
And so they finally get it set up. And the first guy gets behind this thing, and he's lined up on that target at 358 yards away. Pulls that trigger, and poof, cloud of dust.
his buddy's watching through the spot.
Yeah. So he makes adjustments. He pulls the trigger again. Poof, cloud of dust. Poof, cloud of dust. Probably 5, 6, 7 rounds and never even touched that target. Yeah, I mean, his closest was 6 feet away from it.
He was everywhere.
All over the place.
You got to be like, too far right.
Yeah.
Too low. Too high. It was never too far right. Okay, that's too far left.
We stopped shooting when we were watching these guys.
Yeah, just sitting on the seats, just watching this.
Finally, after about the 7th or 8th round, I reach down and I pick up the mule, and I'm standing. I'm not even on the bench. I'm standing, and I line that thing up. Again, we've been shooting for a while. I'm not a phenomenal shot, but I knew where my hold was. I squeezed off around, ding! And they both snapped their heads around and looked at me with this old...
They see this 1946. The soda out there beating every Ferrari out there. That's what it's like.
So then I hand you the mule, and you did the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing them get mad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, instead of boom, boom, it went boom, 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 and they're all over the place. I bet you they dumped $40 worth of ammunition in 15 seconds trying to hit that thing.
Come on, easy now, not 15 seconds, because just because you add the bump stuff, that makes a bigger caliber.
And the funny thing is, Lloyd and I kept shooting it,
ringing that bell
every single shot, ding. So finally, guy gets up. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. So his buddy sits down, and he's the same way. So we go over there. We're talking to them.
They were nice fellas.
Yeah, they were. We were admiring their hardware. And guy says, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's off." And I don't remember if I said, should I give it a try, or they invited me to give it a try. But I sat down behind their 308, and I'd seen where they were hitting, and I got the hole just right first round. Ding! They packed up their stuff and left.
They took their ball and went home.
And I looked at them and I said, fellas, that's the difference between Army training and Air Force training. But 300 yards with iron sights, 358 yards with iron sights, we could hit a 10-inch round consistently.
Right.
Consistently. At 130 yards or 160 yards? Lloyd, how many deer have you shot in the ear over 160 yards?
Plenty.
More than you can count.
Yeah. All the deer I've shot over 160 yards, I shoot them in the ear.
Yeah.
I shoot. And y'all can say what you want. I've had people tell me that's unethical. I don't know how.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, well, because just,
you know what?
If you can only, if you have a pattern at 100 yards like this,
then stay out of the woods.
Completely out of the woods.
Yeah.
And definitely never, ever try a headshot.
No.
But if my bullets aren't making a jagged hole touching, then I'm not done. I'm not ready to go to the woods. I want to be able to put be that accurate. Even if I'm going to, I've shot deer
at any yardage.
I've shot deer behind the shoulder too. I've been in thick brush where it needed to be, and I didn't have a good clear headshot, and it would have been unethical to try to do that.
Yeah.
But I still want to shoot exactly where I want to shoot.
Exactly.
Whether I'm shooting behind the shoulder, the next shot, or in the head.
I will tell you, in my law enforcement military career, which is extensive, I have met some just high speed operators.
No, I imagine.
I have met some dudes that are just scary. And I'm not just saying this. This is legit. Aside from our father,
dude,
I have never met anyone that can shoot like this dude.
I don't know, Dad. Well,
aside from Dad. Dad was a surgeon.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
He was a surgeon.
Can't explain it. I spent years shooting it. And Dad didn't shoot all the time.
No, he didn't go out to the range and
No.
He didn't have to.
We went and shot skeet 2 weeks before dove season.
Yeah.
And that wasn't for him. That was for us because he threw.
Yeah.
That was for us so we wouldn't be out there wasting so many shells.
Right.
He'd take a handful of shells and come back with that same handful of birds. And not have to chase them either.
No.
They're all in a 6-foot area around him.
Yeah. He picked out his birds based on where they would land.
That was not going to fall right. Let it go.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes one. This will work.
Yep.
Boom. Land right over there.
Oh, man.
So I did catch the one dove, though.
Yeah, you did. That was fantastic.
It was so good because there was other guys out there.
And you know what? Victor watches this, and he's laughing right now. He is laughing right now. Lloyd shot this dove. This is 2-3 years ago.
I think 3 years ago, maybe.
Shot this dove and killed it, but it was flying towards us, and the trajectory was just right that he was able to take his hand off his shotgun, reach up, catch it.
And I just flipped it in the truck, and I said, "That's how you do it, boy." Smooth and glad. Every once in a while. Yeah. The dog, the sun shines on all the dogs' honeys every once in a while.
That's right.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut, So every once in a while, something smooth.
But getting back to our subject at hand, that
we need a little deviation from the subject.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I get so angry. And how do you trust after this?
Lloyd, we haven't trusted in years.
But
we haven't trusted since COVID.
Yeah, but what does this do for that? Just reinforce what we were thinking. I seen a guy put out a video. What a video? It was just a.
Let me stop you real quick. Keep that and bring it up here in a second. Here's how we trust after this. We get Donald Trump in office. Win
the House and the Senate.
Win the House and the Senate, and we allow this house cleaning that needs to take place.
I have heard.
That's how we trust after this.
I have heard that one of the things that some of the Republicans, I don't want to say this is what Trump wants to do because I hadn't heard it coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Is eliminate a whole lot of these three-letter alphabet.
Yeah.
And get rid of 75% of the bureaucrats.
100%.
And mine.
And term limits. Term limits, people.
Why can that be? I mean, why has that been allowed? You know why it's been allowed? Because the people that are in Congress are voting on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they're
not going to vote to fire themselves.
They vote on the raise.
Yeah.
They got a 21% raise. While we're struggling, I'm struggling to buy fuel.
They've earned it. They deserve it. They need it.
Because they have done nothing but invest in stocks that they had control
According to
over.
Dan Crenshaw, they're not making enough money. That's why they have to invest in stocks.
That they're in control of the outcome. That's another thing that
we keep getting on the same subject every week.
I know. What I was going to say a while ago is the guy posted on there, just so like writing on the screen kind of thing. He said, hey, if you got any conspiracy theories that you're not using, can I borrow them? Because all of mine have come true.
Right. All right, time out. Time for a switch. There we go.
Hey, man, I had to decorate mine.
Yeah, you did. Today. I like it.
I had to put my little stickers on it. Got one on the
back, like it.
One side. I had to put my little stickers on it. I come with my Trump flag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And... yeah, I am so angry over this.
Yeah, I am too. Well, all right. So two things. I am angry and elated.
I'm elated that all that happened was his ear.
Yeah.
I'm elated at that.
Well, and a firefighter.
Yeah.
That makes me angry.
That's horrifying.
But I'm elated over something else too. Elon Musk, who to this point has never endorsed a presidential candidate,
right
after the shooting, the day of, Saturday, later in that day, came out and endorsed Donald Trump, and then Monday put out a statement that he is committing to $45 million a month to the Trump campaign between now and November. $45 million a month.
Man.
Could you live on that?
It'd be hard. I'd have to make some lifestyle changes, but I could make it work.
$45 million a month. And he's not the only one.
No,
there's all these billionaire class dudes that are coming out that have been traditional Democrats.
Have you seen the billionaire class that has withheld funds from the Democrats because they won't make Biden step down?
Yes. In
That's
fact,
pretty big.
Here's the scary part. A lot of them are diverting from the presidential campaign to Senate and House campaigns. They have written off the White House.
And they're trying to
they're trying to win Congress.
Right. If they can win House and Senate.
Yep.
Then they can have
then
more control.
Donald Trump's lame duck for at least 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. But then again, Sleepy Joe showed what you can do with executive orders. So
there you go.
But with all of this, Lloyd, I still haven't changed my position, man. I don't believe there's going to be an election.
I really don't either. I don't. And I don't believe there's going to be a fair election.
And I don't think that Saturday was a one-time thing.
No.
They're going to try again. They have to.
They cannot. And that's another thing. Joe Biden, 2 days before that, or 3 days before that, said we need to put Donald Trump in the bullseye.
Yep.
Another senator said we got to take him out.
Yeah.
That was his word.
Yeah.
We got to take him out.
I'll tell you what, if you're if you're at all susceptible to conspiracy theories,
boy,
dude, this is a gold mine.
yeah.
There's so many things.
And you know, I'm gonna bring something up.
All right.
And I've been debating on this since probably Sunday, but whether you can bring it up to you or not.
Yeah.
We may not see eye to eye on it.
Okay.
And I even talked to Mom.
Yeah.
Even said something to Mom about it. She was like, and I said, we may not see eye to eye on this. And she said, I said, but I know he will see my point. And I said, but Mom, don't worry. I said, we can be mad or we can disagree and still love each other.
Oh, yeah.
We've been doing it our whole life.
We have.
I said, I don't know. There's not another fellow on the planet that I love more than him.
Right.
I said, but
likewise.
Anyway, just to bring up the one example, and I'm sure you'll know, you've heard, saw, whatever. The woman that worked at Home Depot, and she puts on her Facebook page how she wished the shooter would have been a better shot. Then the veteran makes a video of this. He sees that, and he goes to Home Depot. He sees it, and he finds her. Little investigating.
Wow.
He finds her. You hadn't seen this?
Uh-uh.
He confronts her in Home Depot.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you think she should have been her shot? And he was ripping her pretty good. And she ended up losing her job over that. And I think...
Did you hear that there was an FBI employee that said the same thing?
Now, there's a lot of them. I screenshotted a whole bunch of them. I got a stack of them in here.
By the way, I have unfriended and blocked a lot of folks since Saturday.
Let me ask you this, though.
Come on with it.
Doesn't that woman... Isn't that what the left does? They take something you say, and then they cancel you because they don't like it.
Right.
They cancel you. They get you fired from your job.
Right.
Margie's Cookie Place is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Aren't they allowed to say that? Didn't you and me both join the military to provide? I don't agree with that lady from Home Depot.
And I don't have to like it.
I don't like it at all.
No.
And for somebody to spew the hate, I think it's horrible. I think you're a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But I don't think...
You know one of the things I said on Sunday when I was preaching?
I don't think you deserve to have your life ruined and other Karens that just because they don't agree, because let's say that somebody don't agree with what we have. There's plenty of people that don't agree with what we say on this platform.
That's right.
And they go to the company that I work for. I know I work for an individual lady, but she owns, it's a bigger corporation. It's bigger than that. Well, say they go to the company, they find out who I work for, and they go to that company, and they want me fired because of what I've said about there's only two genders. Abortion is murder, period. There is no. You can't be a Christian and have any good outlook on abortion. There, you can't. It doesn't matter.
Mutually exclusive.
It cannot go together. I've said a lot of things that may be controversial, and they could go and say, well, we want him fired. And where's my freedom of speech? And I don't like what she says, and I don't like what these other people are putting on the internet, and I don't like. Now, there's a difference between saying what your opinion is and making calling a threat, for more violence, or making a threat. You make a threat on a sitting or ex or former president, that's a felony. It's in our laws. I say enforce the laws.
I'm 100%.
But not your feelings. Your feelings don't have no room in my Constitution. It doesn't.
And I'm going. Surprisingly, apparently, I'm going to agree with you. I get 100%.
I'm just a little bit. That veteran should have known better.
Well,
I understand he was working on feelings.
Hang on a second now. The same thing applies to him. He had just as much a right to go and find her and confront her as she had to say it. The outcome is not up to him. Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. The Supreme Court has said that you have the right to burn or desecrate the American flag. But you and I have said on this platform, if I am ever up at Burke Burnett Park and I see somebody lighting the flag on fire, I'm going to beat the taste out of their mouth.
Brakes are coming off. Beat the brakes off you. And I'll go to jail for it. Fine enough. Good
Absolutely. Enough. So it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. If someone's burning the American flag, I am going to beat that person until my fist bleed.
If you saw a video of somebody burning the American flag, are you going to go to their work?
No.
And beat them up at work?
No.
He had no business to me going and you know, if she was in the public, maybe
he had the right
in a private business.
He had the right to confront her, just like she had the right to say what she said. Now, do I think that?
But why did he confront her? Because of her exercise of free speech.
Sure. I get what you're saying.
That's what the difference is. I see what you're saying too. I do. I absolutely see what you're saying. But it's if it weren't for the fact of.
Now let's change this up a little bit.
Okay.
The analyst that worked for the FBI that posted on her social media that she wished the guy had been a better shooter.
That to me is a different story.
She lost her job, and rightly so.
She's
a federal employee.
She is paid by the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Part of her job,
way different story,
is to protect this nation.
100%.
Absolutely, that's a different story.
Yeah,
that's a different. That's just a different. That's not an average private American citizen voicing their opinion.
Right.
And I don't agree with them people. No, I'll make that absolutely clear.
100%.
Anybody that posts on there, they said is a head that big, she shouldn't have missed it. I could read 1,000.
Right.
I've
like I said, I have unfriended and blocked people over this.
And then because
I don't want it on my wall.
Go after their livelihood. And what does, maybe in some way in your mind, you think, got them. What about their children that they're feeding with that livelihood?
Right.
What about the aging mother that's living in the house that relies on that guy and his private business?
Yeah.
He runs a cruise. The one guy ran like a offshore cruise thing, and they vilified him just like they did Marjorie's Bakery.
Yeah.
And they vilified him all over the United States without even knowing what his cruise business was about.
Right.
And it was because of what he wrote on social media. And your argument could be, well, actions got consequences. Yeah, yes and no, but where does it end?
Yeah.
Where does free speech is free speech.
Agreed.
Where does it end?
And especially speech that we don't agree with.
Right.
Especially. That if everyone speaks in a way that we agree with, there's nothing free about that.
No. And if you're not thick-skinned enough to listen to what or hear the words that I have to say, and if you don't want to continue with the conversation, you're a free person. You can go on.
Yeah.
You can click this and change it.
That's right.
You don't have to subscribe, like, or share. You don't have to do none of that.
That's right.
And if you're so thin-skinned
that
you have to attack my family, you have no idea what's going on in nobody else's life.
Right.
Then that's your issue.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
So I surprised you, didn't I?
You really did. I didn't,
I do agree with you. I agree with you that, and like you said, you and I both raised our right hand, swore to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. That includes the Bill of Rights.
That's right. From all enemies. Where are they?
In the First Amendment.
Domestic.
Yeah.
And what was the expiration date on that?
About the time your blood pump stops.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Right? Like the millisecond before you see Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Just checking.
That's exactly it.
I was making sure because that's where mine said too.
So speaking of Home Depot, by the way, we will never speak the name of that shooter on this podcast.
No,
he does not deserve his name to be spoken.
No.
So we're going to refer to him as the idiot, or the knucklehead, or the dingleberry. That's it. He's the dingleberry.
You could call him Splat.
Splat. Yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
The headless wonder.
Yeah.
Boy, that 300 Win Mag. Whew.
Nasty.
Oh gosh.
Nasty. I like to reload.
Oh my goodness.
And I like to, in my spare time.
300 Win Mag.
I like to read ballistics.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't.
It's funny. You've never read a book in your life, but you.
Books I've read
well, you read The Fallen.
Yeah. And I'm telling you what, that Win Mag's nasty.
Oh, I know it,
That's
man.
a big bullet.
That is a massive chunk of lead.
It's a 30 caliber bullet.
Yeah.
It's good heavy too. So you get lots and lots of energy.
But it comes in a casing that's 3.5, 4 inches long and
big as a sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and it's just nasty.
That is a massive round.
Fast moving and just nasty.
Flat trajectory.
Nasty.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're a bit more on ballistics than I am.
Devastating results.
You're more on ballistics than I am, and I'm pretty good on ballistics. If I'm not mistaken, other than the 308, I don't think there's another 30 caliber round that shoots as flat as the 300 Win Mag.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that is a flat shooting sucker. Now, 308 has got velocity, trajectory, a little better than the 300 Win Mag.
right.
But it doesn't have the meat that the 300 Win Mag has. 308 is a smaller grain bullet than the 300 Win Mag.
You can get a pretty big bullet in the
You
308.
can.
They're so versatile. That's one thing that's so
true.
popular about 308 is you can load that thing up and go shoot elk and moose, or load it down and shoot coyotes and prairie dogs.
Yeah, true enough.
But yeah, you're right. That 300 Win Mag that's a flat shooting bad boy.
That
man.
is just
just nasty results at the end.
Yeah,
they're nasty. It's designed to do one thing.
They're still cleaning that roof.
Yeah.
So speaking of Home Depot, you brought it up with that woman. The day before Friday, that kid went to Home Depot, purchased a ladder, drove the hour to the event site, and propped that ladder up on that building. Here's my question, and going back to conspiracy things. How did he know that that was the one building out of all the buildings around there that was unsecured?
Because you already got a ticket. You already got a game plan.
Yeah.
How did he?
Who was whispering in his ear?
How did he, less than 200 yards away from where the former and quite possibly the future president is going to speak, how did he carry a ladder? And nobody questions or
he put the ladder up the day before. Now, again,
you've done security.
You're right.
You don't show up when the protectee shows up
right.
and say, all right, guys, let's fan out and see what we got.
And
okay, come on out and let's go see.
And that's where the failure is, the advanced team. When you have an event like this. You
can't tell me it didn't happen. It did happen. The advanced team did go.
Part of my job when I was the bodyguard for the general is every day I would get the general schedule. And part of my job was me and a couple of other guys. If it was a public event. Now, if we were just going out to a range and watching the tanks play, that didn't. But if it was a public event,
that doesn't require.
Part of my job was to go out the day before to the event
and assess everything.
Every possible. And let me tell you something, Lloyd. If there is a ladder leaned up on a building somewhere within eyesight of my principal, I'm taking the ladder. The ladder now belongs to me.
Yeah, it has to.
Yes.
It has to. There were so many failures. And I've heard 3 hours before the shooting, they identified him as at least a suspicious person. I heard that they had him in their gun sights.
They took his picture.
I heard.
The local cops snapped a picture of him, sent it off to the Secret Service.
The part that I can't get over is 3 minutes before the report I heard 3 minutes before the shots were fired, there was spectators that were saying, he's on the roof, look. And one guy took a video of him on the roof. You can see him up there on the roof.
Crawling.
And cops running around. Then I seen another video shot from, the video you see where Trump's getting shot, you're looking right here.
Yeah.
This is shot from back over here, behind him and off his right shoulder.
Right.
And this guy's shooting video, and you hear a girl saying, he's videoing Trump. And Trump's talking about the immigration and stuff on the board. And you hear a girl saying, where are they running? Look, where are they running? And he pans over, you see a whole bunch of people running. This is almost a solid minute before shots are run out. This guy's already hollering. There's somebody on the roof or somebody on the roof. How fast is radio communication?
Instant.
How fast is instant? That's like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like almost like me and you were speaking.
Now, there's something that you need to be aware of. And this is something that has come out, but it's not been
confirmed.
No, it's confirmed. It's absolutely confirmed, and I can personally confirm it because I'm aware of it. It's not been disseminated very much. Here's where a part of the breakdown is. Secret Service has their own encrypted radios.
Okay.
Designed intentionally so that you can't get on a scanner and see what they're doing.
Okay.
local law enforcement don't have access to that channel. So local law enforcement are on their radios that are on open band trying to communicate. And the way that they do this is the protectees, the Secret Service agents are supposed to have a local law enforcement officer with them to communicate. And there was a breakdown in that communication.
Who's Dan Bonagino?
Yeah.
Okay, ex-Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
Him and another Secret Service. He did an interview just a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
and they were talking about that. And when you're in that kind of environment, there's a panic channel that everybody has, and everybody's on. Everybody is on, and everybody has.
Right.
And you have panic words.
Yeah.
And he that's his question. If they knew that shooter was on the roof, why wasn't that called out on that panic channel?
Right.
That everybody there that had anything at all, even the administrators, are on that channel.
Right.
Everybody can hear that. Everybody. Why wasn't that called out? And that is at least a minute.
Yeah.
Before the shots fired.
Right. Well, and
more than enough time to get my president off that stage and out of harm's way. And if the president's gone and out of harm's way, shots don't get fired at all. I don't think so. And the fireman doesn't die. You could what if that forever.
Yeah.
You could what if
well,
that.
and here's
if they panicked and they said, get him off the stage, and it was because this guy's on the roof and these other guys are on the roof.
Right.
Shots would have never been fired. 45 or a minute before, at least 45 seconds before.
Maybe. And here's why I say this. Have you seen the video that allegedly is this kid? It's from months or years back when he's in the middle of the street. No.
Oh,
he's in the middle of the street and he's screaming at the top of his lungs. Slice Republicans' throats.
Yes.
This guy didn't just hate Donald Trump. He hates Donald Trump supporters.
Right.
I think if he had been alerted or if he had been spooked, I think he would have randomly started shooting into the crowd.
And that's very, very possible. He was already unhinged, evidently.
By the way, the media is making a huge deal out of the fact that he bought 50 rounds of ammunition.
I know. I saw that.
Wow, 50 rounds.
If we were going,
if all I had was 50 rounds, I'd be ammo poor.
If we were going to the range, and I showed
for
up
one
here,
of our range days,
and I showed up here, and you walked out the house carrying 50 rounds, I mean, like, dude, you ain't shooting mine. I hope you got more than that.
Yeah, where's the rest?
You should have told me if you were that low. I'd have brought you some, because I didn't bring you any.
Yeah,
I brought. Yeah, this is for me. I mean, we can run back by the house.
Right.
If that's all you got, we need to go to the academy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
50 rounds. I mean.
But you know, it's like when the ATF breaks into somebody's home and they had 12 guns. That's an arsenal.
Have you heard that breakdown?
Mm-mm.
Where this gun enthusiast, gun nut, a gun owner, it's like, well, how many? I'm thinking about getting a gun. How many? Should I just get one gun? You know, how many guns does a gun owner have? The girl says, well, the average gun owner has like 5 or 6. Well, that sounds kind of like a gun enthusiast. No. Gun enthusiast has 12 to 15. Well, that sounds like a gun nut. No, a gun nut has 300 or 400. You know? It's like it's like anything, though. It's like anything. If you have somebody that Aunt Sally collected thimbles.
Yes.
How many thimbles did she have?
Good Lord.
Will she be a thimble nut? How many patriotic things did she have?
Yeah.
That's what she collected. That's what she was into.
That's right.
Somebody that collects puzzles or
stamps
or anything.
Yeah.
Anything. They're going to have more than what your average person has.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was a house. This has been years ago, and it was in California, and they pulled out 15 long guns and 2 or 3 handguns.
Yeah.
And they had them laid out in a blanket in the front yard. And
taking pictures.
There was like 300 rounds of ammo.
Oh
total,
my gosh!
Total. And then you look at from the far back picture, it looks like a massive pile of guns. Oh yeah. No, that's scary. If you looked at it with an educated eye, the guy had most of them were shotguns.
Yeah.
And it looked like like in my situation, I've got a shotgun for each grandson.
Yeah.
And then the shotguns that my kids had.
And then the shotguns you inherited.
And then the one that I've had since I've been a kid.
Yeah.
So he's got all them shotguns. Yeah, but you know what? When we all go hunting, everybody has one, and but this guy had several shotguns. Yeah. He had a couple deer rifles.
Oh,
nothing that you could even call assault, which I think is such an idiot word.
It is.
You could make this an assault pair of glasses if I wanted to bouncing them off your forehead.
Right.
Assault anything, whatever.
Did you hear J.D. Vance last night? J.D. Vance was sharing, and he shared a story. He was talking about his mamaw. When his mamaw passed away, the family went and they were cleaning out her house. And he said, we found 19 loaded handguns strewn about the house. And he said, Mamaw didn't get around very good anymore. So she made sure anywhere she was in that house, she was within arm's reach of a handgun.
Mamaw's a wise woman.
I'm telling you.
Mamaw is a wise woman.
I'm telling you.
I've warned my children.
Well, brother, I hate to do it, man. It's been an hour.
Oh.
A little over. And we didn't even scratch the surface.
No,
but you know what, man? This has been a good discussion.
Yeah, and I think we ought to carry this on into next Thursday. I really do. It's
worth
that. This is
and we'll have more information.
We'll have more information.
Maybe.
We should have.
It's funny. People are saying, I can't believe we don't know any more than we know now. It's been 5 days. You know what? We still don't know everything about the JFK murder.
And look here, man.
I just made you roll your eyes. That's funny. You're a 60-year-old man. You just rolled your eyes like a teenage girl.
I know, right? I also heard, man, that they was having trouble getting in his phone.
Yeah.
Now, me and you can be talking on the phone and bring up blue jeans or tennis shoes,
and you get an
ad. The next time you open your Facebook or any social media, that they've got to have blue jeans and tennis shoes. I mean, it's so.
Well, they did get into his phone, but they had a hard time.
They had a hard time and whatever, and
I know, man.
Give me a
I know.
break.
Oh Lord.
And and the media's going nuts over the fact that he shot an AR. Can we finally do something?
Right. That's right.
Can we
Can we take these weapons of war off the street?
Yeah. Now you Republicans see the danger. Yeah, but unhinged individuals.
Yeah.
I've seen the danger of unhinged individuals
all your life
throughout the entirety of history.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Every time. There's a danger.
Well,
that's why we have jails and.
Can't think of his name. Doggone it. The guy that the Republican in New York that ran for governor against Kathy Hochul and barely lost. He was up on the stage giving a speech, and this dude walks up on the stage with a Hello Kitty knife sticking out of his knuckles and went to attack him. And the candidate grabbed the dude's hand before security took him down.
See, that's a failure.
Yeah.
That's a failure.
Here's the deal, y'all.
Quit hiring diversity people and pick the one that does the job.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen Trump's new security team?
No, but I bet
they're all about 6'5" and about that wide.
Man, I mean, I'm just going to get this before we end this. I don't care what your sexual orientation is.
Right.
I don't care what color skin you have.
Right.
I don't care what background you have, where you grew up. I care nothing about that.
Can you do the job?
If I'm going to be in the airplane, I want the best pilot.
Right.
If I'm going to be laying on an operating table, I want the best surgeon, the best anesthesiologist, the best nurses.
Yeah.
I want the best.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
I have zero care. Did you hear about the lady that was talking about the ER doctor that was treating people after that shooting? He had the gall to be wearing a MAGA shirt or MAGA hat and Trump shirt. She said, this is the same person that we have to rely on taking care of our kids.
Right.
Trusted one of the kids.
Yeah, he was at the event and
if
was
one of the
treating
kids
people.
were gay or if one of the kids were trans or a migrant,
ridiculous.
How would he handle that? You're going to question the integrity of that doctor?
Who, by the way, is there on his own accord.
Responding
to emergencies.
How about Karen, you liberal white woman, you go to school.
Yeah.
And you get the degree, and then you don't have to worry about that guy.
That's right. That's exactly it.
You can take care of your own family. Anyway, we can carry on forever.
We could. Folks, I hope that you all have enjoyed this discussion as much as we have.
We have enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have. We did some reminiscing.
For sure this week, man, take time to be kind.
Yeah.
Take time to be kind. And man, sometimes keep your opinion to yourself.
Yeah.
you don't have to say something hateful to somebody that, and I do it all the time. I'll see something on one of these videos or one of the social media posts, and I have typed something in that was just,
and then delete it,
and then just deleted it.
Right?
Because first off, my opinion doesn't make any difference at all.
Yeah,
opinions are like
it does here.
Opinions are like tater holes.
Yeah,
everybody's got them, and they all stink.
Except mine.
And you ought to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's everybody.
Yeah.
Because anybody will see all that. But anyway, take time to be kind. Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
No doubt.
It costs you nothing. Absolute nothing. And oh Lord, in this time, this day and age, I hate that saying, but
it's true.
We're at. It's where we're at.
Well,
we lack kindness so much in this world. So much.
Yeah. Yeah. We lack kindness. We lack common sense.
Morality, direction.
Yeah.
See the video? Got to bring it up.
All right.
There's a woman on the internet. She is walking down the street with her young child.
Yeah.
As they're walking on the sidewalk, she notices an Amazon package on the porch.
I saw that.
This child is probably 4 years old.
I saw that.
She sends that kid up there on the porch. She coaches him all the way. He gets it. This isn't his first time. When he gets it, it's like the first time you rode your bike, first time you made a basket. Yep. I did it, Mama. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. He was so excited of his accomplishment of learning how to get in the prison system.
Yeah, to steal. Yeah, I saw that.
Unbelievable.
Just turns your stomach, man.
Unbelievable.
Listen, folks, if you do enjoy these conversations, we certainly encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. I will say we brought it up before, but I look at the analytics on these videos.
I don't.
I know. I don't blame you.
I don't because I know you do.
Yeah. And I will tell you
what I need to know.
They are absolutely shadow banning us. They are suppressing us, probably because of our sharp attire that we wear.
That's right.
But you know what? I don't care. Lloyd and I said from the very beginning, when we discussed should we do this, we came to the conclusion that if nobody watches it, we're still going to do it. Well, because it's for us. It's not for anyone else. We both have
jobs. We're not trying to make money.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be influenced. I don't know. If I can influence you in anything, I want to influence you in finding Christ.
Absolutely.
And that's about all I'm trying to influence you on. The rest of this is my opinion, and I'm entitled.
Yesterday morning, I had my annual at the VA, and I got all the new questions.
Oh, we got time. Lay it out.
Yeah. One of the questions was, what's your sexual orientation? And the nurse, I always see the same nurse. She's my buddy.
Okay.
Love her to death. She knows me. I went in there one day, I don't even remember why, but I was wearing a ball cap, not my hat. And she's like, "Oh my God, I almost didn't recognize you, Clay." I mean, we know each other.
Right. And
she was embarrassed to ask that question. And I looked at her and I said, "What does that have to do with my blood pressure?"
Right.
And we had a little laugh over it. And I told her, I said, "Well, right now I'm celibate, but I'm heterosexual." And she said, "I figured as much." Another question, and I thought this was interesting. What is the most important thing in your life? And I said, my walk with Christ.
What?
That's the most important thing in my life. She said, eventually they're going to ask you what you identify as. And she said, "I hope I'm retired by then."
Yeah. And how?
And of course, do you have any firearms in your household?
How prying and inappropriate is that? And then the answer you give was an honest answer.
Yeah.
Complete honest answer.
Yeah.
Your walk with Christ.
That's right.
What's the chance of that being held against you?
I don't care.
No, I know.
I don't care.
I know. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah, I know.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah, that is in a federal database now.
You can come over here illegal, commit crimes, do what you want. We'll still pay you every month.
Rape and torture a 12-year-old?
We'll still pay you every month, and you'll get a slap on the wrist at most.
Yep.
But if you served our country, that's a different story. We treat you different.
That's right. Well, it's now in a federal database that the most important thing to me is my walk with Christ.
Amen.
So there you go.
There you go.
Listen, guys, like, comment, subscribe. As always, I hope and pray that we have been a blessing to you all, that you all got something maybe out of this. If nothing else, enjoyment. God bless you guys, and Lord willing, we'll see you next time.